Hello, everyone, and welcome to Amani's Lightwork Keys to Akasha section of my channel. If you are a new subscriber, welcome. If you're just visiting, welcome as well. I hope that you find solace here on my channel. You get the answers and insight that you need to move forward in your personal life, or if you have information that you need to gather about a specific case, I'm glad that you're able to find the answers and insight that you need. Okay, so today is May 16th. It's a beautiful Saturday day. As you can see, the sun is shining outside, it's warm. So if you get the opportunity to just, if you have a front yard, if you have a backyard, get the opportunity to, open the door and let air go through your lungs and breathe. Make sure that you get your vitamin D, make sure you get your exercise, make sure you're eating healthy, etc. I've been putting myself in check during this time as well too, okay? So I hope that you're doing well in that sense. Before I go in to talking about the case that I'm going to be covering today, I just want to say, pretty much lay down the ground rules about this section of my channel. Every case that's covered here is solely based on channeling and interpretation, which means that I am using my ability and the aid of spirit to cover these cases. Okay, if you have a private inquiry, if an inquiry about a case that you'd like to see covered, you can send me an email to hassaniife777@gmail.com, ifadivination777@gmail.com. You can send me a direct message to my Instagram at amaniife777. I believe my contact number is also available there. So you've got, I pretty much I gave people various outlets of communication where I could be contacted for those kind of things. If you just need general readings, if you need a personalized reading, etc. Okay, so all of that is available to you. I'm always available, even if I'm busy during the week. I'm still available, at least for this part of my life. Okay, so. With that being said, I actually got this case that I'm covering today is a personal request to do Andre O'Neill Harrell. Okay, he, I believe, was a rapper, a songwriter, and a producer. People say he discovered Sean Combs as well. He passed May 8th, 2020. He was 59 years old. He was born September 26th, 1960. That would be making him a Libra. Okay, so he's someone in terms of energy. He's been someone that's been in the music industry for years. 59 is a great age to get to. I believe that he could have lived longer. Is that kind of energy that I'm feeling as well. Okay. His wife, I believe his ex-wife, Wendy Credle, she was, I tried to look up her information. She was an attorney. She's an attorney for the music industry. She's also a Gemini. Okay, so maybe her energy may show up in the reading as I get it started. She was actually the person, I believe, that announced his passing on social media, etc. Okay, so like I always say, after the case is covered, if you have questions, comments, concerns, comments are allowed. Please be respectful in the comments, etc. If you don't want to comment necessarily, don't have to. It's not necessary. You can send me an email. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. Okay. he's telling me something about sleeping. I know that the situation was that I know his wife said that he suffered from, he had heart problems. He was sleeping. He could have been sleeping. He could have been just been taking naps. I get this. He's telling me something about a workout. So I don't know if this is like a physical workout or like a, what do you call that? A physical workout. I don't know if this is like an in-home. He was living in West Hollywood, which is a prominent, pretty prominent area in LA. So beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous area, beautiful homes, etc. So I can understand. It's typically big houses that are over there, large estates, expensive estates, if I should say so myself. So I don't know if he had like an in-home gym kind of situation, or he was just doing like, you're at home, you're doing Pilates, or just trying to get some exercise in, during this time that we're bound to our homes, I should say. And in some cases, people's homes double as their offices. So I can understand if he was doing a lot of work from home, just trying to get some exercise in at home is that kind of feeling that I get. I get strenuous. So when I went on that example, which it was just an example, but I wanted to elaborate. I felt like he may have wanted me to elaborate into that spectrum of energy, is that he, something may have been strenuous with some type of exercise regimen that he gave himself during the day. But let's see what's going on. And in the terms of him sleeping, he could have been working out and then he took a nap. He could have been napping. He could have got up and he could have been napping and he got up to work out, or vice versa. But let's see what's going on here. Some type of workout. Okay, so the Seven of Pentacles energy is underneath. I get this idea of trying to save money. So that may have been something that, he was prominent in the music industry. So I can understand him. I don't really see where, I don't really see where it would even be necessary. I mean, people could save money even if they're making however many figures a year, or within a month, or within a couple of months within a year. It's 6 months on end and you're making more than six figures. If that's the case for him. But I don't really see it necessary to save money. I mean, that's just my thought, because that's something that I have to do, or anyone, that would be considered upper middle class would have that kind of thought process. But for him, he may have been really financially stable, but they had money coming in from, I get this idea also of having had money coming in from various outlets here, like in terms of his work. He could have been having money coming in from he could have had money coming in from a studio. He could have been he could have still been managing the studio. He could have been running his own business, and something's going on with the taxes with either one of those situations there. So something could have went interesting with the taxes, or he could have been waiting on the taxes, but wife got a hold of. So when I ran through all that, he's telling me that his wife, something about one of his businesses or something that he managed, at which he was waiting on the taxes to come through on, the wife got a hold. The wife got a hold of something there, or a tax refund. I'll give you an example. So if he's running a studio, he's running his own separate business. One of those situations that he has going on connected to the music industry. Something's going on with the taxes coming from one of those outlets of income. The wife. So he's telling me that the wife got a hold of one of those businesses, the taxes from one of those businesses. But I get a promise also. So he could have promised his wife a percentage of those taxes that he got from his business that he was running, from the studio, from the company, whatever kind of business he was doing at that time. If it's studio work, or it's if it's the studio, what's the name of the studio? Uptown Records, but waiting on taxes. So Uptown Records may have owed him taxes. It could be from years ago. It could be from recent. Even if they said that he may not have been necessarily working there consistently, or he wasn't necessarily working there, even before the shutdown happened. He may have been working from home and still doing his work in connection to them. But he's telling me that they owe him money, or they owe him taxes. Then there's an element here where there's a percentage of that tax refund, a percentage of that taxes he may have promised his wife. And if he didn't necessarily follow through with that promise, the wife the ex-wife, I should say. I don't know if he had a new wife. He could have had a new wife. The wife in that case got in contact. What do you call it? The Def Jam records. Excuse me. Woo, the wife got in contact with the Def Jam records, and taxes from the Def Jam records could be going to the wife, but that was the promise. So when I ran through all of that, he's telling me that that was the promise. The Def Jam, I know he was a part of the Def Jam record label as well. The taxes there, he could have promised the wife a portion of that taxes, or separately, the wife was just promised the wife was just promised a portion of his Def Jam taxes. So a portion of those Def Jam taxes they're going to the wife, or the wife was promised that. He himself promised the wife that, or someone from the Def Jam record studio, they promised the wife that. So it just depends on what's going on. That's why I said there's various he has various modes of income coming in here. Then but I get this idea of, when I say that, also something's going on with tax evasion, with something with having various modes of income, or some type of situation there. Okay, tax evasion issues and taxes not coming in, trying to figure out where the taxes are, percentage of the taxes. The wife had a conversation with someone at one of those record labels, but they're helping her. So when I said that, what the wife having being in communication with someone from one of those record labels, is helping the wife out financially. And it has to do with tax refunds. And I also get gifts. It has to do with tax refunds. In terms of the wife, tax refunds and gifts. Like, gifts can mean anything. Gifts could be like material things. Like, gifts could be cars. I get mansions. Gifts could be like cars, mansions, opportunities. He's also saying opportunities. So all of that is coming through all of that is coming through from a tax deal that his wife was offered. He himself could have been offered that, but didn't want to share. He could have been offered something like that, but he may not have wanted to share. So I'll give you a perfect example of what's going on here. So for example, him being a prominent, being a prominent figure in the music industry, he was working for a company for years. So he may have, just taken leave from the company, didn't want to work for the company. I'm just giving examples. Didn't want to work for it, wanted to work from home and still benefit, etc. Or just, what's that other situation? What do you call that when you just taking a temporary leave from the industry, etc. But they still, what the deal is that this company, the music labels, etc., they're still trying to figure out a way to honor him and make sure that he's set. They want to make sure, even if he decides to leave temporarily or not, or permanently, he's still a prominent figure. So once you are deemed as a prominent figure in this kind of situation, and in terms of the kind of work that he's doing, he's a prominent figure. Whether he leaves or not, he's still going to be honored. He's still going to be owed things. So what's happening with it is that if he's leaving, they still promise him a deal, but a portion of that deal is being offered to a wife, or one of his ex-wife, or whatever, a girlfriend, whoever he was dealing with before his passing. But one element about that also is that he also may not have wanted to share, or a wife that he had may not have wanted to share. It just depends. The wife may have, I get this idea of the wife wanting to use something that was I also get this idea of taking credit for, when I said the wife could be taking credit for something, or could literally be credit, like credit cards, or credit in terms of their payments and things of that nature. But something's going on with the wife separately, where the wife may have a partner that she wants to take care of. The wife may have a partner that she wants to take care of. So whatever he was offered, that he's saying that he may not have wanted to share necessarily, or she didn't, whatever he was offered may be going to a partner that the wife has. I'm trying my best to make sure that I go in chronological order with this case, okay? So the Five of Cups energy is here in the starting point. The Five of Cups could be water sign. Someone did ask me about Diddy's involvement with his personal and private affairs, etc. Cups could be water sign energies, or it's just Five of Cups, meaning grief is grief where money is going. It may be just grief because of where money is going. I know Diddy is a Scorpio, so his energy, but was in communication with. So the Five of Cups, if this is Diddy's energy, Or another water sign. It could be, he could have so many other people around him that could be water signs. But Diddy, Sean Combs will be showing up here as a Scorpio if this is his energy. He may have been in communication with Sean Combs at that time, but money deal. So they were in communication because of a money deal and taxes and tax evasion issues, and wife's wanted things and wife's partners wanted things, etc. But I didn't want to give. So I ran through all of that, and he didn't want to give his wife. This could be a situation he was living, where he was living could have been living by himself. He could have lived with a partner. They didn't necessarily say they did, or they did, or they did not. But the wife, his ex-wife, may not have necessarily been living with him at the time. Paid visits, so she may have been visiting him. That could be one situation. But yet to complain. So she may have been visiting him to complain about a money deal, visiting him to complain about where money's going. He's finding out where money is going, but I get a separate deal also. So if he's complaining about where money is going, it has something to do with a separate, like the example I gave from the beginning, it has something to do with a separate deal that his wife may have been offered to help out her partner or to help out herself. And that's why the Five of Cups energy is there. Then there's another situation here where he was set up by wife. He was in communication with someone that was set up by the wife. The wife, this could literally, the wife is an attorney, but I would deem an attorney to need an attorney. The wife was a music industry attorney. The wife could have set her friend. The wife could have set up her friend, or partner, or lover, or another attorney that she would deem to be her friend, someone that worked in the same law office as she did, another producer, etc., composer. She may have been in communication with that person. But I also get go follow. She may have been in communication with that person, and she's telling that person go follow and Andre. It could be like go follow him online, go follow him, like go follow his whereabouts to see what I keep getting with money. So she could have hooked up someone to follow him to see where he was spending his money, to see where if something was truthful. So okay, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Man. Oh my God. Okay, let me just retract for 1 second. I'm probably going to keep having to do this a couple of times. His wife, from the beginning, let me just retract from the beginning. His wife he keeps telling me his wife was promised a deal. His wife was promised some type of financial, the wife was promised some type of financial deal, or the wife was in communication with someone about getting a percentage of money, his own gifts, his own payout that he was receiving from these record labels. Somebody promised his wife a portion of it. But what's happening is that the Five of Cups is that his wife, he's telling me that his wife may not have believed him. The wife then set up someone or called someone, I get her attorney, or someone that's maybe like her own lawyer, her own attorney. She could have set up someone to do research to see, I get something about the bank, to do research to see what he was spending in the bank, or if he was telling the truth. He may have literally written out a whole skit of what he was going to tell her that money, or what he was going to tell her in terms of where he was putting the money, what he was going to tell her in terms of why he couldn't share the money. Like I said from the beginning, all these rewards that he's receiving, he may not have wanted to split or share with her. She's hooking up someone to do research into his accounts, look into his accounts, or they could have had a shared account at one point, or he had his own, but she knew someone that could access those accounts for him because of his IDs and socials and birth certificate, etc., driver's license and things of that nature. But it was invasive. So I get this idea of it being really being really boundary crossing, being really invasive in that sense. He agrees with the example that I'm going down here, because this is like a husband is discussing with his ex-wife. I don't want to share. I don't trust. I don't want to share. I don't trust your spending habits. I don't trust. That's why I said gifts and things of that nature from the beginning. I don't trust your spending habits. I don't trust I don't even trust the discussion that we're having. I don't trust where you're saying that you're going to put this money, if it's charity, if it's a home, if it's mortgage, if it's a car. I don't trust where you're telling me that this money is going to go. So what's happening is she in turn may have ended up feeling really deceived. So she's finding someone she could end up hooking up someone to find out why he's not agreeing with their conversation about splitting these funds in the way that she wants to split the funds. So she's hooking up someone to do research into where or what he's really doing with the money, or why he can't split it, why he can't share it. This depends on what's going on. And then there's also this other element of him having discussions with Diddy. Sean Combs may have also been promised some type of tax deal. He was promised some type of tax deal too. Something about Sean Combs' tax deal may have been intertwined with his ex-wife's for some reason. You know what I mean? But I keep getting this idea of invasive. Like, it's something's like an invasion. It's like the idea of it is kind of like boundary crossing, because this is something that is offered to him personally, where people want to pretty much dive into that, or people split it. People just want to split it. So that could be energy that was occurring then before his passing. That could still occurring. That could be something that happened then. That could also be something that's happening now, during these times. It's been happening. It could have been happening for years. That's why the Five of Cups energy is there. You know, what's going on with my Def Jam taxes? What's going on with my payouts? What's going on with what's the other Uptown Record taxes? But Diddy receives a portion of. So the Uptown Record taxes that he's supposed to receive, Diddy receives a portion of. Diddy receives a portion of. That's why the Five of Cups energy is there. And that could literally be why Diddy's shown up in the scene, to have a discussion with him about the taxes. And what's going on with the taxes, or the fact that Diddy is having a discussion with him about a portion of Andre's taxes being split. It implies that the wife hooked him up. It implies the wife may have hooked him up to see what's going on, or the wife or whoever else that they had in their clique could have hooked up Sean Combs to investigate. Somebody hooked up Sean Combs to investigate what's going on. Investigate in a sense where there's two different spectrums of ways that this possibly could be going. One is that his tax return is being split, and as simple as that, someone may not have wanted him to know where a portion of that money was going, because in the beginning he said, I don't want to share it with this, that, and the third person. So they found out a way to access or split or do whatever they needed to do. Somebody found out a way to do that without his permission necessarily. That's one situation. Then there's another situation here where Sean Combs or whoever else that's in the music industry or part of the Uptown organization, what's happening with them is that split taxes. What's happening with somebody in between there somewhere, they end up splitting taxes, and a portion of those taxes went to Diddy, but a portion of taxes that Diddy received was supposed to be for Andre. And that's also where the wife is into the secrecy. The wife is intertwined with that secrecy. Wow. So the Ace of Swords, I hope this video doesn't jitter. The Ace of Swords energy is in the waiting position in terms of ideas and research. But that's what they were doing. So the Ace of Swords, he's saying that's what they were doing. That's what Sean Combs was doing. That's what people in Def Jams and what's the other place, in the Uptown Records and the studio or the wife or whoever he was dealing with at the time, it's Swords energy. So that pretty much, I almost say cunning. Something could be going on with that. That could be where the energy of the wife is coming through. He was an air sign as well. He was a Libra. So this could be his energy and that of his wife, being that the wife is a Gemini, doing research. But he's saying that they were. That's why I said earlier on in the reading, they were doing research into his accounts. And I get spending habits. They wanted to see what he was spending money on. He himself could have been looking to, but where are my taxes? So when I say that also, he's like, he himself could have been doing research into his own accounts and his own tax returns and his payouts and things of that nature. He's like, where's my taxes? Where's my taxes from this studio? Where's my taxes from Def Jam? Where's my taxes from the Uptown Records, or a separate business that he ran on his own separately from that? He's like, where are the taxes? But it got tampered with. So the Ace of Swords in the waiting position, taxes that he's waiting on, somebody's tampering with those taxes. Somebody's tampering with them, and because they were offered a deal. Somebody tampered with the taxes, and whatever those situations he has going on, there's a lot of stuff going on in terms of how he's getting his money, how his wife is getting his money, etc. There's a lot going on there, and there's taxes that he's not receiving that he doesn't know where those taxes. I get where they're from. I get this idea of not knowing where the taxes were from also. Like some type of I also get a deposit. Something's going on with a deposit. Like he doesn't know. That's why I was getting this idea of like of credit, or it could literally be like credit cards or his credit score and things of that nature, but jacked up. So something ended up being really jacked up about his credit at one point. Something could be looking really interesting now or then, or however long ago. Something could have been really looking interesting about his credit, or his credit cards, or something's going on with deposits being made and payouts and things being made in his name. Payouts and deposits and things being made in his name. But took a trip to bank, or that could have been what he was trying to do. He could have been trying to take a trip to a bank, call his lawyer, do whatever he needed to do, but communicate with a financial advisor and where this payment come from. To take a trip to a financial advisor to get insight into where a payment came from, where a deposit came from, where a charge came from, what's going on with my credit cards, why do I have this credit card charge? But I'm being drawn back to the wife. So I don't know if he had like a new wife, or like a new partner of some kind, or it could be the energy, of his ex-wife. Just depends on what's making payments. So when I hit ex-wife, she may have been making payments on something with his information. She could have been making payments for something with his information, hence the reason for the credit being jacked up, hence the credit card usage, hence the reason for credit being jacked up, or it was or it was not, but jacked up in a sense where nothing may have been necessarily wrong with his credit score. It's just the fact that someone like his wife or somebody, a partner he was dealing with, they may have been just using his credit card information or his name, some type of information that he had on file. Someone was just using that to make payments on cars and houses and things of that nature. But I didn't see. So the Ace of Swords with the Five of Cups, he may not have seen that kind of something like that happening. He may not have observed that for a while. Something like that could have been happening for a while with his information. I keep getting this idea of credit cards. Something was going on like that for a while. But someone in the bank. So when I say that also, if it's not anybody external that he's dealing with intimately or privately, someone in the bank using information, someone in the bank or his law office or in the company, somebody was using his information in that sense. But it's bringing me back to the energy of taxes. So whatever kind of tax issue he was having, some type of tax issue, some kind of, that's why I was getting evasion and things that nature, tax evasion issue, or just receiving the taxes or some type of refund period. Where's the payment? But someone has. Where's the payment? Somebody has the payment. But there's also this situation that he's telling me that someone in the bank devious, someone in a bank setting may have been devious, or someone in the bank offered a deal. Someone in the bank may have been offered a deal. Someone in the office where he was going to make payments, somewhere where he was going to make payments to was devious, whatever it is. But we work closely together. So if this could be the energy of an attorney, this could an accountant, that could be the energy of an accountant. You know, I can understand an accountant and may have been stealing something, promised something. An accountant was promised something. So he himself could have promised his own accountant something. Someone external could have, that's why I said communication with the wife and the wife's attorneys and accountants, etc. Some type of financial situation. Somebody that she's attached to, or she herself could have been in communication with his own accountant and set up a deal. So when I said that also, they managed to set up a deal with her taxes. So what's happening here is that he has his own accountant. He is making payments to the accountant, but not keeping the promises. The accountant, he's making payments to the accountant, but the accountant isn't making the promises that he set out for him, that he pretty much ran through blueprint with him. I don't want my ex-wife to have access to this. As simple as that. I don't want her partner to have access to this. I don't want my ex-partners, in terms of business partners, I want them to, or I don't want them to have access to this kind of money. But I get this idea of an accountant not listening and being more in favor of wife's needs, being more in favor of like his wife's needs, being more in favor of an ex-business partner's needs or a business partner's needs. Why would they do that? So when I ran through all of that, the Ace of Swords in the waiting position, he's like, why would they do that? Why would they hook colleagues? Why would they hook up their colleagues to intervene with my personal and private financial situations in the way that they are? But suing. So the Ace of Swords energy is this idea of suing. So one element about this, he may not know one element about this, he meant, but was using intuition. So I get this feeling that if these kind of things are happening with his personal private accounts and with accountants and lawyers and things of that nature, we're not keeping promises. So when I ran through them, they weren't keeping promises, and the promises were to not have certain people access his money, and somebody wasn't listening to that. Somebody wasn't listening to that there. But I get protection. So the Ace of Swords in a waiting position. After I said that, he said protection. So there's this idea he may have been trying to find a way to protect that, trying to, after finding out, but he didn't know. I get his feeling here also is that he may not have known. He may not have known. He may not have known the source of, or he may not have known who the culprit was. But his accountants may have been known, but they had access, or somebody external from him had access to his accountant, or just had discussions with his accountant, and something like that. He may have been thinking that someone external that he didn't really know, or someone he may not have been dealing with that much or regularly, just had access somehow, because I keep getting because of the wife. They just had access because of the wife. He's like, what happened to my tax return? What happened to my refund? What happened to my, what's another situation? What happened? What is this payment? Or what is this charge? That, whatever it is. Wife's friend, his ex-wife's friend, his ex-wife, her partner. Something's going on with their access. His ex-wife, some type of partner that she has, a love partner, a business partner, whoever, some type of partner. They had access to his things because of an accountant slip up, his own accountant slip up, some type of joint situation. They may have had something jointly for a specific time. He could just branched off from having something jointly with her. And she may not have been necessarily done with his joint situation of the kind of income that he was still receiving. So that made someone upset. So when I said that also, that splitting made somebody upset. You're married to someone, you're both partners are making, over six figures, and they're making good money together, and one of them wants to split off and be on their own. Someone isn't quite satisfied with that idea. You know what I mean? And still she or someone that she's tied to, somebody wants to have access to his funds. They want to make charges. They want to use his information and things of that nature. But I also get this feeling of shouldn't have married also. Like, after I ran through all of that, he may have been thinking that, I don't know. I mean, they could have been in love. They could have been, they were divorced. So I can understand him having that feeling towards being close to having had divorced her. Or just dealing. Divorce could be marriage divorce. Divorce could be business partnership. Try to continue after. They try to continue a business partnership after, not a loved one, after the divorce. They try to continue that. But something about that abusive. Something became really abusive about that. They became a financial, 5 of Cups, 7 of Pentacles, Ace of Swords. It became financially abusive. Because of who she allowed in, or somebody allowed in to have access to his things that he didn't necessarily say that they could have access to his things like that. So it became really toxic, But that's why the divorce happened. So that's why the divorce even happened. So if the time frame that they were married, the same kind of stuff was happening. The same kind of craziness may have been happening while they were married. Then they get the divorce. Then they get a divorce. Then they possibly even decide to continue to be business partners after the fact, but not a good idea. So something about that may not have been a good idea either. So what's happening with that is that there's financial agreements that he is being offered separate from her, and making her crazy. So when I said that also, it ended up making her crazy. It didn't even only have to be his ex-wife. I'm getting this idea of her colleague. It ended up making, oh, wow. The wife's, that's why I said the wife's friend, the wife attorney, the wife partner, some type of colleague that the ex-wife has, they intervene. A colleague the ex-wife has, they intervene. But it made them upset because they were promised something during the time that he and his wife were married. That colleague was intervening. They got a divorce. They decided to do a business partnership. Then something's going on with splitting their assets. Something's going on with splitting the assets, splitting the funds, splitting the taxes. A colleague that was intertwined with their marriage. However many colleagues that the wife has attached, he could have had that same kind of situation going on as well. the wife's colleague dissatisfied. The wife's colleague, one of the wife's colleagues, is like dissatisfied with something that the wife is being offered separately, because what's happening, it's a break off. So they're in business partnership still, but their assets are no longer intertwined, and that's how that's how the wife's colleague was benefiting, or his colleague was benefiting. So that split off made somebody really, it gave angst. That split off gave some type of colleague that the wife has or he had, it gave them angst. And they couldn't take I also get favoritism. They couldn't take some type of favoritism. So favoritism in the sense, okay, favoritism that he could have been receiving. Favoritism he was receiving. Favoritism the wife may have been receiving. Somebody couldn't take some type of favoritism. But every time I say that, the wife's colleague couldn't take some type of favoritism that he was receiving. The favoritism implies that he had one up. The favoritism implies that he received some type of financial one up over her. But the colleague that is the wife's, they're missing out on that one up of a financial deal that he's receiving. So it's making them crazy. I can understand if it's making them crazy, or it's somebody that's tied to him like that. The Two of Pentacles energy is in the present. Oh, that was a lot of information. The Two of Pentacles is in the present. Ace of Swords, Five of Cups energy, still trying to save. So the Two of Pentacles, he was still trying. I don't even need the cards. The Two of Pentacles, he's like, I was still trying to save. I was still after finding out something. He was still trying to save after finding out something. Literally, after finding out something, and wife colleague involvement, but more than one. His ex-wife had more than one colleague that was involved in his personal or private finances and things of that nature. It could even be his personal and private affairs. But I had one. So personal and private, low affairs, business affairs, he had that going on. But his wife's colleagues, that something's really separate about them. The separate are not separate. They're intertwined, but kept watching him. They're intertwined. They also kept watching him. Could be an earth sign. They kept watching him. They were intertwined with his, I get a love interest also. Something's going on with a love interest that he had. Some type of love interest that he had. He could have been dealing with someone up before his passing. He could have been, I get cute. He was dealing with someone that was cute. Whatever, whoever, that could be his thought about his wife or her friend. That was his thought about his wife's friend. He was thinking that his wife's friend was cute. Someone was cute about the wife's friend. But the wife's friend offered a financial deal. The wife's friend that he's saying was cute was offered some type of really interesting financial deal with his information. But the Ace of Swords is doing research into that. Because who he was liking or who he was developing an interest for was sneaky. Who he was developing an interest for, or who he developed kind of some type of feeling of love towards, or whatever, it's a sexual feeling, intimate feeling towards. They liked each other. So he said that his wife's colleague or friend, they liked each other. But that one of those females, I get something about dark. I don't know if it's like a darker skinned female that's the wife's colleague or the wife's friend. Or that could fit the description. Or hair was straight. So this is. I mean, the wife wasn't necessarily dark. She was like. The wife was like medium brown skin tone. I keep getting her friend. So the wife had like he's trying to give me a description of a African American female with like, I don't know, permed hair, straight hair, business like that kind of fit the description of the wife, but the wife isn't really dark. He's telling me something about the wife's that's fitting a description of one of the wife's friends. Like that's something's going on with a feeling of attraction towards the wife's friend that fits those physiological attributes. Darker skin, big lips. He said she's darker skin, she's got big lips, straight hair. He's saying big derriere. Also, something may be big about her bottom area or her bottom half. Something about that. But she was watching me. So when I said that, he said she was watching me. She was watching me. So that's someone, whoever fits that description, he is, I would deem them to be connected to the same people, like kind of intertwined with the same people, but in favor of wife. They're interconnected or intertwined with the same people, same group here, but that particular person that he's trying to describe is they're more so on the wife's side. He's saying, that's why he's saying that they were sneaky, someone was sneaky about that that person intertwined with information. They're sneaky because they're intertwined with his information. They could even be who he's trying to describe to me. Could even be the person that could even be the energy of the person that was intertwined with his information, or using his information because of the wife, or some type of access that the wife gave her friend. Some type of access, but at the same time, he's saying, I liked her. Like, we liked each other. We had a mutual attraction to each other. I like her. You know what I mean? He's like, I liked her. You know what I mean? He said that he liked her in some way. The Two of Pentacles energy being there, but didn't know she was benefiting. So he didn't know the wife's friend or colleague was benefiting in that way that fit that description. He didn't know that she was benefiting in that way. And he's investigating, made her scared. So he may have started investigating, and it made her scared. It made the wife scared. It made the ex-wife scared. It made her friend scared that fit that description. The wife kind of fits that description, but she's a little lighter. I get this idea of that being the wife's colleague or friend or something. Their friend, something like that. That she's something made that person scared, whoever that person is. Whew. The Four of Cups energy is in the future. And his instincts has the Page of Cups energy. I know he had a son that's like 20-something years old, 20-something year old child that he has. So it isn't the water sign energy. That doesn't have to be the sign of his that doesn't necessarily have to be the sign of his child. It's giving me this, bring me back to like Sean Combs. So Sean Combs is coming through here really heavily in terms of his community. That's why I said from the beginning, I kind of diverged away from that. I kind of went on a tangent when I wanted to even talk about Sean Combs' involvement with his case. But someone's going on he receives something. Sean Combs receives something. That's why the Page of Cups energy is here. The Page of Cups energy is showing up here like Sean Combs because he's younger than Harrell. He's younger than Andre. That's why he's shown up like this. But how much? So, Seven of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, Two of Pentacles with the Page of Cups. How much did Sean receive? He wants to know how much Sean received there. Or who helped him. He wants to know who helped Sean. So, it's the wife colleague dealing with Sean. The wife colleague dealing with Sean. The wife friend dealing with Sean. Somebody that they have intertwined. They're dealing with each other secretively. That's why he kept emphasizing, I liked her, but she betrayed. She's like, he's saying, I like her. I like the wife friend, the wife colleague, but whoever that female is, she betrayed. It's a she. So she could be showing up like a Page of Cups too. As a younger female tied to the wife, dealing with the wife, helping the wife out. But something about that female is intertwined tax deal. Something about that female, they're intertwined with a tax deal. Sean Combs intertwined with that female. They're all intertwined and interconnected to each other. They're helping each other out. Whatever. I would understand that they would be helping. They're not really that separate. They would be helping each other out, especially if they're in the music industry in this way. They're still working with still receiving money. They're still receiving money. That was his. They're still receiving it. Tax deal. Whatever it is that's going on here. So he's checking his accounts. He's like, he's checking his accounts. Something's going on with the credit. Something's going on with the payments. He's noticing payments were made. You know? So if he did have something jointly with his wife, she wasn't being truthful about a payment. The ex-wife may not have been being truthful about a payment. Was he not truthful about a payment? Some type of payment, some type of deposit. Either it's a payment or a deposit that either one of them wasn't being truthful about. But was to help a friend. So when I said that also, it was to help a friend. But he's upset about it because it wasn't discussed with him. I feel like it was discussed with her. Like, I don't feel like it was discussed with him. I feel that's why the Five of Cups is there. I don't feel like it was something that was discussed with him. It was discussed with her because it's her friend or some type of colleague that she has. So he's going in to count. What is this? The wife didn't discuss. They could have had something jointly. They did or did not. They had something jointly. They did or they did not. And the wife, he may not have had a chance to really pull the wife aside. What is this payment? Pull the wife aside. What is this payment? What is this payment? Or what happened to that money? So the friend that he's saying that he likes, it's for her. The friend that he's saying that he likes, that's tied to the wife or interconnected to them, period. He's like, it was for her. He said that payment was for her. That deposit is for her. So he could have been trying to access, that wasn't for him. He could have been trying to access a deposit that someone's saying not to touch, not to use it. But he doesn't understand why he can't, because this is, if it's supposed to be joint, some type of joint business tie of a situation, and somebody, he's trying to act, this could be another scenario where he's trying to access, they're not letting him. He's trying to access some type of money, but someone isn't letting him. His accountant isn't letting him. His wife isn't letting him. Someone isn't letting him. But he's not necessarily told what he's not. Somebody isn't telling him why or who it's for. That's why I said the Page of Cups energy. How much did they get? How much did the wife friend get? How much did that could be the energy? All these cups here. That could be the energy of Sean Combs, whatever it is. Somebody attached to him. Some type of intertwining situation there. You know, something could be going on with that. Who was this? I was getting an appointment. Who was this appointment for? Some type of appointment. Could be a doctor's appointment, or like some type of appointment with the Page of Cups. Some type of appointment. I don't know if Sean was trying to help him with an appointment. Someone's gonna. It could be like an appointment, like a financial, to meet with an accountant. That kind of an appointment. It could be that. That's why the Five of Cups. And I understand. Sean. That's why I said from the beginning. Sean may have had a discussion. Okay, cryptic. Sean could have had a really cryptic discussion with Andre about his finances. But didn't see or didn't catch that. So he didn't see or catch that. The conversation is, you know, I just got this deposit. Like, I'm just trying to make up a mock conversation. Sean Combs or whoever he's tied to, a friend. He could be whatever water sign. Sean's energy is coming through really heavily. Sean is having a discussion with Andre. You know, I had a business offer. You know, I just got this really interesting business offer. I just got this bonus. I just got this tax refund. I just got this, but intertwined with his. So every time when I hit tax refund, it's intertwined with Andre's. But Andre isn't picking up the cues that something that's mine. That's mine. And Sean is being really cryptic with him. Sean is being cryptic with him and trying to make it seem like it was only for him. But whatever a portion of that money that Diddy's getting paid was supposed to be deposit. Was supposed to be a deposit for Andre. That something about that. Some type of tax deal, some type of business deal, some type of financial offer that was given to Diddy. A portion of that is supposed to be, Harrell was promised. Andre was promised that. But he's having, the idea of it is that Sean is trying to make it seem like it's a casual conversation, but it's actually with Andre's information. Or it's what a portion of Andre's payment. I didn't see. So he's like, I didn't see those conversations happening. I didn't see whatever it is. I didn't see that. I didn't see that he was being cryptic with me. I didn't see he was being cryptic with me like that. I didn't see that his situation that he's trying to say that's really separate. There's some type of deal, some type of business deal of an offer that he's making money, and something about that is with with Andre's things. It's with Andre's things. Something about it, something there. Making money off of his music or something like it could have something to do with a business offer with his own music. Something was music but just money. If it's not music, then it's just money. It's just money. It's just money that was supposed to be for Andre. It's going to Sean. He's being really cryptic, talking to him about it, and Andre didn't pick up the cues. Is that what my money? So he could have said something really sly in the conversation, and Andre could have missed that. That's why the Five of Cups energy is there. Andre could have missed that sly or something. He could have made a really sneaky, sly remark within talking about his deal that he was even offered, whatever it is. Just really crazy. Oh, it's hot. Yep, the High Priestess energy is here next to the Five of Cups energy. So the High Priestess, when it's Five of Cups, I mean, it pretty much is tied to what I just said. The High Priestess being in the accomplishment, but wanted to confront. So the High Priestess with next to the Five of Cups, he wanted to confront. He wanted to confront the wife's colleague. Sean Diddy, whoever. He wanted to confront somebody or his own friend. It doesn't have to be Sean. Sean's energy is really intertwined with finances. So as I elaborate on Sean, he's really intertwined with with Andre's finances somehow. Something about his finances, his information. They work together, so yes, their stuff will be intertwined, but it's stealing. Their stuff is intertwined, but some part of that is also stealing. Or he realized that something was getting stolen. That's why the high priestess energy is next to the 5 of Cups energy. That's why I said that idea of suing. He may have wanted. I don't know if he wanted to sue Sean. He may have after realizing something, or the wife, or the ex-wife, or the ex-wife's friend. He may have wanted to sue somebody. All of them. He wanted to sue. Like he could have been. The Ace of Swords energy could have been in the planning process of trying to figure out a way to sue. He could have been or the accountant, whoever. He could have wanted to sue somebody. The accountant could be a water sign. One earth sign. He wanted to sue somebody, a lawyer. He wanted to sue after some type of realization. Charges, deposits. No deposit. No deposit going to somebody else. Waiting on something for a while. And what's going on with it? You know? Cryptic conversations. And realizing that a conversation is cryptic and wanted to confront somebody on exactly that. But I couldn't. The High Priestess energy said he couldn't. He couldn't. That could have been happening for years or however long or up to his passing. He's like, I couldn't confront. I didn't have the guts. He probably didn't have the guts to really confront a good friend. He didn't have the guts to confront a good friend. Sean being his good friend. Whoever. He didn't have the guts to do that. He didn't have the guts to do it. You know? He didn't have the guts to confront his good friend there. But not a good friend. So when I said also he's not a good friend, he's deemed him to be a good friend, but he's saying that he's not a good friend. Somebody isn't a good friend that is intertwined and taking and taking and reusing. Somebody could be taking and reusing. The taking and reusing wouldn't go with money. The taking and reusing would be like I have old records. The taking and reusing is also connected to the energy of old records that he produced, that he composed. Old records. Like he said, old records. That's why the 5 of Cups is next to the High Priestess. Old records that somebody took and reused and sold them over and over again. But they altered. He said that they were also altered. I don't know if Sean is doing that. That would be crazy to do to your friend. I don't know. Did he do that to somebody? I don't know. He could have done that, but he could have, whatever it is. I mean, that's bound to happen. I mean, I don't really see anything extreme with that. I mean, that would be bound to happen. It's more so the money. I would see it to be, I understand. If him and Sean Combs are having a discussion, I understand. With Sean telling him, with Sean having discussion of being cryptic with him and not giving him all the details, and this could be the idea of the money and the records. What's happening with it? Sean could have pulled him aside and have a conversation. I was with your music. I was offered some type of deal with your music, or your unproduced albums, your unproduced singles. I was offered. This is Sean's voice. I was offered this without your permission. I was offered this without your permission. So what's happening is that they're making a lump sum of money. Somebody's making a lump sum of money with that. But it's supposed to be a portion. That money's supposed to be, but that was the agreement. So the money, that amount of money supposed to be, it was supposed to go to Andre. That was the agreement. That was the agreement. So Sean is being offered a deal and isn't telling him because it involves a percentage. It involves an increase of a percentage of money or a payout that somebody's trying to work out something so that he doesn't get it. But it's with his records that he didn't even get a chance to really put out there. His singles, his records. But yet from the 90s also. Something could be going on there with 90s music. You know, that could have happened then, or that was an agreement that they had. That we're gonna work on this song together. This is a percentage. This is the goal that we're gonna reach in terms of how much this song or this record gets out there. But a percentage of money is going out there, but a percentage of that money is not being deposited to him. And he's like, why isn't it? Or where is it? But it's going to somebody else. Wow. Wow. The 4 of Pentacles energy is in the spiritual self right next to the Ace of Swords energy here. So try to open up another account. So the Ace of Swords, after all that craziness and the tampering and the deposits, not trying to figure out what's going on with deposits and things of that nature, he may have tried to open up another account somewhere else. Another state, another county, another town. He could have tried to do that. But I get away from the wife. So he tried to do that away from the ex-wife or away. He could have had a partner that he was dealing with. I don't know. That could be a situation too. He could have had, but somebody, he's telling me somebody there was helping Diddy or helping Sean, helping somebody. Or somebody was helping each other there behind the scenes. But he tried to open up another account. Or another account somewhere else where it was. But I also get this idea of like, he's telling me something about dissolve. Or either like resolve an issue. Or to something going on with, or liquidating assets. Something like that. Or like dissolve, or something. He's saying something about dissolve. It could be his finances. Something was going on there, or he tried to open up another account to resolve an issue. He could have tried to do that, and that worked or it didn't work. You know what I mean? It worked or it didn't work. He could have tried to open up a few accounts. He could have tried to by under like a different name. He could have tried to open up a few new accounts under a different name. And he could have done that, yes, or he could have been in the works of trying to do that. And he could have ended up having a discussion with the accountant. I opened up an account under a different name. It could even be O'Neal by itself. That could be his way of opening up another account in his middle name or his other name. Some other name. But it didn't work. Something about that didn't work also. Because somebody could have done Ace of Swords, somebody could have ended up doing research into that. But record label, okay, I just idea the record label recommended he do that. The record label recommended he do that. They're having discussion with him. You should open up another account with your middle name, just your last name. Don't put your first name. Don't fake birthday. Just give us give us a fake birthday or something. We'll help you out. We'll make sure your deposits come to this account, and we'll make sure your deposits come to this account instead. So that could have been discussion that he was having with another accountant. He may have had to end up talking to another accountant about setting up something secretly like that. So they could have betrayed also. That just depends on what. But it worked for a little bit. So I get this idea of that working for a little bit. That could have been something he was in the works to do. I don't know if he already had that going on. That could have been something he was trying to do. But he said something like that. It worked for a little bit. And then somebody managed to. That's why I said, the wife's colleague or wife's friend watching that happen, or watching him do that. So they could have been stalking him or something. I don't know. They could have been doing it online. They could have been looking into the system. They could have been looking into the system to see if he had other accounts somewhere. They could have went to the bank. Whatever they try to do. Somebody could have had discussions with his other accountant. And the other accountant, he said the other accountant, the one that he had that caused him to have the slip ups with the deposits and the payouts. Somebody that hungrily needs something that is his. They end up having conversations with his old accountant or a different accountant that he had that was responsible for the slip up in the first place, or dispersing the information in the first place. So he found another accountant that he managed to find another banker, another lawyer that could protect. That's why I said protect with the Ace of Swords. He found someone else that could potentially protect that stuff better for him. So somebody that he's trying to protect that stuff from, they're like really crazily doing their research. They're doing their research into where his things are, where his new company funds are being deposited into. They're doing research into that. Or at least they tried to. They were successful or they were not successful. But I get this feeling that it may have been heavily protected, though. And what he tried to do like that secretly, it was heavily protected. It's crazy. The Queen of Cups energy is here in the mentality. So the Queen of Cups energy could be younger water sign. It pretty much brings in the energy, wife's friend. It brings in the energy. The wife's friend doesn't have to be a Queen of Cups. The wife is a Gemini. She could be embodying Queen of Cups energy. I always have to reiterate that idea. The wife's friend doesn't have to be a Queen of Cups energy. A Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces element that's a female. Something's going on with them. Or their income. Something's going on with their income. The wife's friend. This could even be his part. The wife's friend, he could have had something really intimately going on with the wife's friend, his own friend. The wife's friend would be like his friend. That's why I said he liked someone. He wanted to take care of someone. That's why I said a romantic interest and attraction, whatever it is. But didn't want wife to know. So he said he didn't want his wife to know about that. The Queen of Cups energy, could be his wife. It could be the wife's friend that he was, the wife's some type of tie like that. The wife's friend he could have been taken care of. Something like that. He could have been taking care of the wife's friend in some really interesting way. But he may not have known what the wife's friend was relaying to the wife. But he could have been intimately just attracted to. If he wasn't necessarily intimately involved with them, he was just attracted to them. He was just attracted to the Queen of Cups energy. But something's also going on with her income, or something that happened weird. Something's going on with a portion of it is mine. So her income, a portion. He's saying a portion of it is. He said a portion of it is mine. A portion of it is mine, and this could be something that's going on now with her own income. That could be what's happening now with her own income. That a portion of it is his, whatever it is, or happened before his passing, whatever it is. But she tampered with. So before his passing, she tampered with something that he had going on there with his finances and protecting it. And found out about other accounts. That's why I said doing the research and things of that nature. She found out about his other account, some other account that he had that he opened up to protect. He realized that something shady was going on with it, so he tried to protect that. But she did heavy research and found it somehow, or found the person, or did heavy research to find the new accountant. She could have bribed his new accountant, his new lawyer, some other situation like that. But she gets paid. I'm looking at her. He said she gets paid. She gets paid. I get this idea of she may be getting paid through the wife. That could be another scenario. She may be getting paid through the wife somehow. That's why I said from the beginning, the wife helping her to his things, this, that, and the third. She may get paid through the wife. That's why she's in the mentality here. She's younger than him. She's in the mentality here with the Page of Cups. Stalking him and watching him and flirting and trying to get information that is needed. Oh, please don't freeze. Hold on, it's frozen. The Ten of Pentacles energy is here in the changing position. So the Ten of Pentacles energy is in the changing position. I get this idea of a will. I don't know if he could have been trying to leave a will or write a will or formulate a will for his child. He did have a son. Okay. All right, sorry, the video was a little jittery. He could have tried to do that for his son. Okay, with the Ten of Pentacles being in it, but didn't have enough. He could have tried to do that for his son, but he may not have had enough for the son, or he tried to, because she tampered with. He may have been thinking that he wasn't going to have enough because she tampered with it. Okay, sorry, it's frozen. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. The resolution has the Seven of Cups energy. The Seven of Cups is pretty much options going towards the Four of Cups, but how to give. So options in the sense where he's looking for ways in how to give the Queen of Cups energy a portion of his money, but didn't want to. Giving the Queen of Cups energy a portion of his money, he didn't want to because he wanted to save for the son. But I get this idea the son may not have minded. I get this feeling of the son may not have minded if he did share a portion with the Queen of Cups energy. But every time I say Queen of Cups,